Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effy and today we are doing a full face of NYX. I'm not going to call it a testing video because I've already tested the majority of these products and I already know my opinion on them. There are a couple of products in this video that I've never tested before, so you will be getting my first impressions of them, but mostly this is just a full face of NYX, letting you know what the products are like. I will say at the start, so that I don't have to say it throughout the video, every single product I'm pretty sure in this video has been sent to me by NYX. I'm not on their PR list or anything like that. I just do some work with them occasionally where I review products and give them a review, and obviously to do that they have to send me the products. So all the products here have very kindly been sent to me by NYX and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. But that does not affect my opinion. I'm obviously still going to give you my honest opinion because it would be useless if I didn't. So if you would like to hear my opinion on all the products in this video, please do just keep on watching. If you like the video and you like the look, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it's always makeup content, so if that sounds like it's everything, then this is the place for you. And you can always drop me a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking throughout the video. But other than that, enjoy. So we're going to start with base, mainly because I don't know what I want to do with my eyes yet and I'm hoping the base will give me some indication. I am going to quickly chuck on a headband because my hair is down and straight and it's just going to get in my way. Primer, I have 2 from NYX. We have the NYX Pore Filler Targeted Stick Primer and we have the NYX Marshmallow Primer. I quite like both of these. These are products that I have tested before, so I'm just going to put the Pore Filler Stick on like my nose and just around my porous areas, and then the Marshmallow Primer everywhere else. The Pore Filler Stick I do really like because I do think it does a good enough job of filling your pores a little bit so that when you have foundation on you kind of look like you have fewer pores than normal. In my opinion it's very similar effect to the e.l.f. Putty Primer, and I love the e.l.f. Putty Primer, and this is just a smaller travel friendly version of that, so it is really good. You don't get a lot in a tube, but it lasts so long and you literally only use a little bit and then I just rub it in with my fingers. The Marshmallow Primer, again, I really like it. It has an amazing smell to it. It smells like marshmallows, which I love, but it's also just really smoothing, quite hydrating. It doesn't give much of a tack to the skin, but it does make your skin feel really nice and almost protected from your makeup a little bit. And I do just like how it feels. I don't know if it does anything particularly good in terms of making your makeup look better or wear longer or anything like that, but I still like it because it just makes my skin feel really nice. Foundation, and we have the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation in the shade 05 Light. I did have their Total Control Dropper Foundation. I decluttered that in my recent declutters. I really didn't like it. It just didn't sit well on my skin. I think that would work really nicely if you have oily skin with no dry patches, because it really did cling to dry patches, which I didn't like. But this one is also very full coverage and very matte, so it's not the best for dry skin, but it's not as bad as the other one in my opinion. I would say I've used about a pump and a half, and I would say it hasn't given full coverage. Like, it's not a mask on my face. I have some pretty bad spots right now and you can still see the majority of them. I would say that if you have relatively good skin, this would be full coverage on you. In terms of the finish, it is quite matte. Like I said, it's quite a matte foundation, it's quite dry. However, it's not making my skin look terrible. My skin went through a phase where it had really bad dry patches, and if I used it then, it did look really bad. So if you have kind of, I would say, dry patches that you can notice without foundation, this is going to really accentuate them instead of making them look less noticeable. On my skin it looks quite nice. I think I've managed to sheer it out a little bit so it's not too full coverage. It looks quite nice on my skin. It's a decent shade match for me as well. So overall for this foundation, it's not my all-time favourite, and I do think it's a bit pricey. I think NYX kind of ups their prices sometimes, and some of their prices are a bit much for what they are. But I do like this foundation enough to keep it in my collection. When I did my declutters, I did want to keep at least one NYX foundation, and I preferred this one to the other one, so I kept this one. I don't regret it. I do like it. I do think it gives a good level of coverage and things like that. It's just not my everyday. For concealer, we have the matching Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the shade 01 Pale. You can see what I mean about how this is kind of very yellowy. I mean, it probably looks just white on camera, but it is very yellow toned. Again, this concealer is very matte, just like the foundation. In fact, I feel like on my skin type, I could probably go out without setting this and it would last probably a good couple of hours. Like, it wouldn't be a full day, but it would last, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 hours on my skin without being powdered down. As much as it is a very pale concealer shade, for me that works quite nicely on my under eyes and brightening my face. I did try and put a little bit on my spots, but I don't think that was the best decision in the world. It hasn't covered the spots, it's really just lightened the area, made them more obvious, but that's fine. I feel like I prefer the concealer to the foundation because I would prefer to have matte where I want it instead of all over my face, if that makes sense. I'm not sure about having a completely matte under eye. I generally prefer concealers for my under eyes that are a bit thinner, a bit more hydrating. But when I do want a matte concealer, this is probably the one I go to the most in my collection because it is just so much more matte than all the other concealers I have. And I do think it lasts a really long time. Before I powder down my face, I do actually have a liquid blush to test. I've never tested any of their powder blushes, but I do have one of their Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint in the shade Almost Famous. This is quite a nice orangey shade. This is honestly one of my favourite products from NYX, and I wish I had it in more shades. I feel like you do have to work a little bit quickly with it. You can probably see that I'm working in sections around my face. That's more of a cautionary thing. I don't want it to dry down and leave me with a spot of orange. I don't know if it would. I don't know how quickly you have to work with it. This is just how quickly I always work with it. I do think it's a really, really nice formula. It blends out really nicely. It can look super intimidating when you put it on your cheek and there's a big splotch of colour, but it blends out so easily and so quickly, and it shears out and you can move it around a lot. And I just think it's really nice formula. It's probably one of the best liquid blush formulas that I have in my collection. However, I don't use liquid blush all that often, so it doesn't get used loads. But when I do, I always remember how much I absolutely love it. What I'm going to do now is go off camera and powder down my face because I don't have a NYX powder to test. I'm also going to put on a powder blush and a highlight because I don't have those to test from NYX either. I know they do probably do these products, but I don't have them. So yeah, I'll be back in a moment. I'm back, and I know I said I was going to do blush off camera. I have powdered down and I have done my highlight. I will say I think the foundation looks really nice, even powdered down. I think it looks very smooth. It does look, I wouldn't even say it looks massively dry. It just looks powdered down, which is fine because we're going to put some setting spray on in a moment. But blush. Now, I have this. This was kindly sent to me. This is the Can't Stop Won't Stop mattifying powder in the shade 13 Brightening Peach. Now obviously this isn't a powder for me, but could I make it work as a blush? I'm not too sure. I've just looked at it compared to the Rude Cosmetics Blush Crush palette, and this shade here I use all the time. Are they? They look like similar shades. So I'm going to try using this as a blush, and I really hope it works because basically it's either I use it as a blush or I put it in a giveaway, and I don't want to test it and it not work and not be able to put it in a giveaway, essentially. I think that works as a blush. I think you do have to use a fair amount of it to get it to show up because, like I said, it's a powder, but I think you can see the difference. I think that has just made my orangey blush a bit more peachy. Ooh, that is good. Even if I have to just use it over cream blush to really get enough pigment, I think I'm actually going to really like this. I really like the shade, and I compared it to that shade in the Rude Cosmetics palette because that is the shade I use all the time from that palette. So this might get a lot of use. I'm very, very happy about that. And I've honestly never tested this before, so I quite like it. It feels quite nice and soft. If you were to use it as a finishing powder, I do think it's quite soft and not too heavy. I think it's quite nice. I really like it. Now for bronzer, and we have the NYX Matte Bronzer in the shade Light. I've only used this once, and I'll be honest, my criticism of it is that it's just a touch too orange for my liking. I personally prefer yellow tone bronzers, and this looks very similar to my blush right now, but we'll put some of this on. So I've gone in with a bit of a lighter hand than I did the first time using it, and I actually don't think it looks too bad. I do think it is a touch too orangey for me, but if you're going with a light hand, especially with the peachy blush, I think that helps it all a little bit. But if you're going with a light hand, I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was. I think this is definitely a bit more of a summer shade for me. I don't think it's going to work too well for me in winter, because in winter I especially like to go for yellow tone bronzers. I think it's giving my skin a nice bronzed look. It does look nice. It blends nicely on the skin. It's not too pigmented, but you can also build it up. Yeah, I think it's a nice decent bronzer. I like that it has a mirror in it. You can take this with you to wherever you're going if you're doing your makeup not at home. Yeah, I actually think this is a really good bronzer. I kind of wish they'd come out with a cream bronzer. I don't know if they have one, but they should do. Like I said, they didn't have highlight. I've already put some highlight on, but we are gonna drench my skin in setting spray. This is a matte finish 16-hour makeup fixing spray. I love this. It really does set your makeup in place. I will say it doesn't have the best mister on it in the world, and I kind of wish it was a bit bigger. Like, it's a very small pot, but it really does set your makeup in place. Okay, again, I'm going to go off camera. I think we're going to do eyes now. Yeah, we'll do eyes now. So I'll zoom you in. I will put on an eye primer because I don't have one from NYX, and we will make a start. Eyes, and we do have quite a few eye products to talk about. I'm not going to use them all on my eyes because I think that would be a bit too much, so I'm just going to talk about the ones I'm not going to use first. So the first thing I'm not going to use today is the Epic Wear Waterproof Eye and Body Liquid Liners. I have it in blue and white. I do also have a grey one, which I have used. These two are obviously still in their packaging, so I haven't used them. These are really, really good. First of all, they are a brush and like a pot, which isn't my favourite form of application, but these will stay on your face forever. They will survive whatever you are doing that day. The way to get them off is to use an oil-based cleanser. That is what NYX have told me is the best way to remove them. I'm not going to use that today because I just don't think it's going to go with the look. I also have some eyeliner pencils. I might use one of these today, but I'm not sure which one. So I'm just going to talk about them now in case I don't use them. So this one is the Epic Smoke Liner, Angled Liner and Blender in the shade Violet Flash. And you have the pencil on this end, which is a little sort of like diamond type shape, so it is angled. And then on the other end, you have a little smudger brush, which is so cute and actually really nice and soft. I've only used this twice, I think. I really did like it. However, you don't get the same level of pigment on your eyes as you do when you swatch it on your hand. So if I just swatch it on my hand, you won't get that level of pigment on your eyes, because obviously when you're drawing on your hand, it's a hard surface. When you're drawing on your eyes, it's a lot softer, so you don't get that level of pigment, and it does take a little bit to work with it. Then I have three Epic Wear liner pencils. I have the shade Pink Spirit, Turquoise Storm and Orange Zest. I love these. I literally want these in every single colour. I think they are amazing. They glide onto your eyes really, really easily. I use them in my waterline. I will probably use one of these today, probably either the orange or the pink. I do use Turquoise Storm a lot, like it's been sharpened down so much already. As you can see, it doesn't look like the other ones. The other ones still look like they're new. But yeah, I really do like these. They stay on a really long time, but again, they wash off pretty easily. I do really enjoy these, and they have so many colours of them. But I think these are like £7 or something like that, which is a bit much for an eyeliner pencil, in my opinion. We also have a NYX Epic Ink Liner. I haven't used one of these in so long, so I might actually use this today, I'm not sure. I don't have an open one in my collection because the last one I had in my collection, I used it and then it just started being rubbish. Like after, I assume it was getting old and things like that, but it just started bleeding on my eyes, leaking out the pen, being an absolute pain, so I just decluttered it. But I might open this one and use it today. But now for something that I definitely am using today, the eyeshadow palette. This is the NYX Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette in Festival. They have quite a few of these. I kind of want the bright one, but then I don't need more rainbow palettes. But this one looks like this. I'm kind of glad that they sent me this one because I like colourful makeup and this is colourful makeup. I'm a little bit stuck on what to do. There's so many pinks in here, I kind of want to go pink, but then my blush is very orange. So I don't know. I might go purple, this pink, this orange, and then yellow. Because I think that'll give me a good transition. So I'll do that and hopefully you'll see what I'm doing. Wow, those mattes are blending amazingly. I'll be honest, I was a little bit worried because I had heard some not so great things about the Brights palette, about how they're not that pigmented and they don't work that well. This is working perfectly. I could not be happier. They are pigmented, they are going on well, they are blending effortlessly between each other. I haven't experienced such an easy palette in quite a while. Like most palettes are relatively easy, but this is next level, barely even have to do anything, easy. And they're so vibrant and so pigmented. I genuinely think that this is a really good palette. I haven't tried the shimmers yet and I really hope they don't let it down, but so far I am very, very impressed. Now in terms of shimmers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Let me have a little look. Let's put some on my fingers as always and make a decision. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, they look very, very pretty. That pink one looks stunning. I'm out of focus, there we go. That pink one looks so pretty. Ooh, they just look stunning. I'm kind of thinking going with this one because this is one of those like purpley blue red reflex. So this one's sort of all over the lid and then the pink just on the inner corner. I might also pat the pink over the other shade if I want to, which I probably will. But let's put those on and chat about them. Okay, they are gorgeous. I did get quite a bit of fallout from that first shade. And now I kind of have like little blue glitters all over my cheek, but that's fine by me. I do think tapping over that lighter pink shade has just brightened that other shade up a little bit. But these shimmers are gorgeous. They're so glittery. I will say they don't seem to have a massive base of colour to them. So I feel like putting a matte shade underneath these would have been a good idea. But they look fine either way and they are just so stunning. Now what I'm going to do is pull some shades along my lower lash line. It's probably going to be the exact same matte shades and then I will do a little bit of liner as well, but let's do the matte shades first. There we go, matte shades on my lower lash line. I did just put a little bit of that shimmery pink on my inner corner and just ever so slightly along the lower lash line as well. Now let's do liner, which worries me a little bit because I haven't done liner in such a long time. In case you've never seen it, this is the NYX Epic Ink Liner. It has a brush tip applicator, which is actually really, really good. I love these sort of applicators when I do do liner. I just don't do liner very often. I don't know if I'm going to do a wing or like a big wing. I might just do it along my lash line. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. Oh, I can breathe again. Okay, I did a very, very small wing. It wasn't meant to be as big as this, to be honest, but I've done one now and that's fine. I can live and breathe again and I'll be fine. And now I am going to put one of the Epic Wear pencils in my waterline. This is the shade Orange Zest. I am going to cut this bit out of the video. I find it really uncomfortable watching people put stuff in their waterlines. I imagine I'm not the only person, so I'm just going to cut it out to make it easier for all of us. That is in my waterline. I will say you do have to go over it a couple of times, but that's absolutely fine. What I'm going to do now is go off camera and do my other eye, put on some mascara and put on a brow pencil. We do have a brow gel to test. Actually, I have two brow gels. I don't know where the other one is, but we have two brow gels to talk about. But I'll put a pencil through my brows because this won't do all of that. And I'll be back in a moment. I'm back. I'm looking more even. I will say the liner is really good. I forgot how much I loved it. I forgot how much I absolutely loved it. Just to quickly run through everything because I feel like I didn't do a very good job of it. The eyeshadow palette is amazing. I actually think the eye I did offline was a little bit better. The Epic Ink liner pen, I forgot how good it is. It's really nice. I will say, if you're new at eyeliner, it does come out very pigmented very quickly with the lightest touch on your skin, so just be very aware of that. And the Epic Wear liner in my waterline, I did go back in once it had fully dried to just add another layer, and I think it looks really nice, really pigmented. It does have a little bit of a golden sheen to it, which I think is really unique, and I quite like it. I have run a brow pencil through my brows, and I do have two brow gels from NYX to test. One is the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Mascara, Thickening Brow Mascara in the shade Taupe. I love this. This is one of my favourite brow gels. I do like tinted brow gels with fibres in them. So, for example, another one I really like is the Benefit Gimme Brow. They're very similar products. And then this is a clear brow gel, and this is the Control Freak Brow Gel. So I think I'm going to use the Thick It Stick It Brow Mascara because I love it. But this is just a clear brow gel. It does a good job at like fluffing up your brows and holding them in place, but not too much. It's not going to keep your brows in place all day, I don't think, in my opinion. But it is a good enough brow gel. But let's put a little bit of this in. There we go. It's just brought some colour through my brows. I will say my brows are a little bit sparse, and the more I look at them, the more I think they have little bald patches in them, but they don't. They just have hairs that are lighter and hairs that are darker. So I'm just going to brush this through. I do think this also does a decent job at like sticking your brows in place if that's what you're looking for. And I think they have a decent enough shade range, maybe like 6 or 8 shades. And this is actually a really good shade for me. I use it most of the time. I really enjoy it. And finally, we will do lips. Again, I have 3 different products. Actually, I have more than 3. But I can't pick all of those up. I have NYX Butter Glosses back here. I might use one of them, actually. Just because I might want to. But there are some products I'm not going to use. So, first of all, the Line Loud Lip Pencil in the shade Born to Hustle. I use this a couple of times. I think it's quite nice. It's not the perfect shade for me. It's just that one there. It's a bit too pinky peach. It's not really a shade I go for. But the formula, very creamy, very pigmented, goes on amazingly. I might actually see if I can pick this up in a few other shades because I actually quite like it. I don't know how much it costs, I'll be honest. Oh, I thought it would be a sharpener in the end, but it's not. You do have to sharpen these, but that's fine. Then I have 3 of the XX Lingerie NYX Lip Lingerie. There's so many words on here. We have the shade Stamina, Expose Me and Straps Off. I might use one of these. I might actually use the red, maybe. I actually really like this red. These don't last all day. I have worn the pink one out a few times and it doesn't last all day. But it fades really nicely. You can reapply it and it won't look weird. It's a thin enough formula where it doesn't feel like you've got like a thick lipstick on or anything like that. I actually really like these and I'm so thankful I have 3. This one comes out as more of a dark brown. I would say the tube looks like a purpley brown, but it does just come out as like a straight up brown. But yeah, I might put this one on. I then have this is Juice Gloss electrolyte infused colour in Guava Snap. I'm just going to put this on the back of my hand because it's not that tinted, to be honest. Yeah, it's not barely tinted at all. It's just there. There is a little bit of an orange tint, but not loads. I actually quite like this. It's quite a thick lip gloss, but it's not massively sticky. I don't know, it's very hydrating. It feels very nice on the lips, but it's a little bit thicker. I think they have maybe, again, like 6-8 shades of this. But yeah, I do quite like it. I think it's really good for putting on top of a lipstick if you just want to add a little bit of a gloss. And I also sometimes wear the liner with the gloss, and that's it. And I think that's quite a nice combo. And then finally we have the NYX Butter Gloss. I have 5 of these. They did send me a vault of like their Christmas vault. I think it had maybe 10 or 12 shades in it. I kept 5 and put the rest into giveaways. And then they sent me a duplicate of 1 shade, so I kept 1 and not the other. So this is the shade Creme Brulee, and I think this is the only one I have that's going to really go with the red that I might wear. I mean, I also have Madeline, which is a very popular shade, but that's a brown. Tiramisu, that actually might go a bit more pinky, but that's a really nice shade. Angel Food Cake, which is a bit more of a mauvey shade, which is my sort of thing. And then I also kept a dark brown, which is Cinnamon Roll. So it's between these two as to which one I'm going to put on top, but let's put the liquid lipstick on first. That was a bit of a struggle, I'll be honest. I probably could have done with a lip liner. That would have helped the situation a lot. But just while this dries, I'm going to talk about the formula. I think the formula is so nice. It doesn't feel overly drying on your lips, which is my main issue with a lot of liquid lipsticks. I've actually stopped wearing liquid lipsticks the majority of the time because of that reason. The doe foot has a little like dip in it so that it holds some product, so you don't have to dip into the tube loads of times. I would say the applicator itself is quite nice. It is pointed, so you can get a good enough line, but I think definitely a lip liner would help this just to make it a bit neat. In terms of the colour, it's one of those true cool tone reds that I think looks good on a lot of different people, and I definitely love this colour on me. If I am going to wear a red lipstick, I do prefer it to be a liquid lipstick because I don't want it smearing all over my face throughout the day. And this is a really, really good option. Now that we're going into winter and Christmas, I have a few Christmas parties coming up with work. This is definitely going to get worn to at least one of them because it is such that sort of cool toned wintry Christmas sort of red, and I absolutely love it. I think I'm going to put a little bit of the This Is Juice gloss on top. I do love the butter glosses. They are really good. They have pigment but not loads. I'll just quickly put one on the back of my hand to show you. I'll put the shade Tiramisu on the back of my hand to show you how much pigment there is. Just sort of that shade there. I would put one of these on top of my liquid lip, but I don't want to take away from the red because I think the red looks really nice with the look. So I'm going to go in with this one, which is a bit more of a clear gloss. This is in the shade Guava Snap, in case I didn't say that earlier. There we go, it's just added a nice gloss to the lip. Again, very Christmassy. It looks really nice, honestly. I keep looking at my monitor, I'm sorry about that. But there we go, that is my full face of NYX makeup. Like I said, I have already tested most of these products before, but I do really like them and they've made it through my declutter. And all the products that I haven't already tested, I really liked. I mean, that really is just the eyeshadow palette. Oh, and the blush that's not really a blush. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of the look, and let me know if there's any more NYX products you think I should test. I definitely have the powder blushes on my list, but if there's anything else, please just let me know. I also want to test the Born to Glow foundation because I hear Missa rave about it all the time. But other than that, if you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it's all makeup content, so if that sounds like the type of thing, then this is the place for you. But other than that, I'll let you go. Have a great day and an amazing week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!